Why is the world the way it is? If we look at ourselves, human beings, and compare us with God, we can see many similarities. This makes sense when you consider verses such as Romans 1:20, which says that what can be known about God can be seen through what is created. So we look at ourselves as his master creation, not the broken parts, but the original design, and we can see many similarities between him and us. And some of those similarities help to explain why the world is the way it is, such as the delegation of authority. This is something that both God and humans do. We all tune into this truth. I mean, God originates the truth, obviously, but we tune into it, and so we do the same thing. So we see his first delegation of authority in Genesis 1 and 2, where he creates human beings and then says, here, you manage the earth. What is that? That's the delegation of authority. It's the first instance of it. It's a big clue. It's right at the beginning. It's one of the first things God does after he creates us. That truth hasn't changed in 6 millennia, or however long that's been, if you're not a literalist. God has still delegates authority in the earth to us, human beings. And there's a second clue in Genesis 3, the story of the consumption of the fruit, that gives us another clue. And it's helpful to see that story not from a literal perspective, but a spiritual perspective. Because when you see it literally, it's kind of hard to buy into. A snake tempting Eve to eat a piece of fruit off of a tree, right? But if you see it as a spiritual truth, it becomes very easy to believe. One of the things God said to never do was to leave a place of relationship and love with him for a place of lower knowledge where we just live off of our own judgments and our own thoughts and paradigms about what's right and wrong. That's what that fruit is. The fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that's what that's talking about. So what? We have the delegation of authority to human beings, and then they left a relationship with God in which they were governed by his love to figure things out on their own. And we can see the results in the world today. If we look at the world the way it is today, we see human beings living apart from God and doing what? Running the world the way they think it should be run, on their own thoughts, their own beliefs, their own paradigms, apart from God's love. This is very logical, and it helps to explain why the world is so messed up. Because obviously God knows how to run things, and we think we know how to run things, but the proof is always in the pudding. One has to only take a short, quick look at the world to realize that we don't know how to run things. So what's the solution? The solution is, of course, to return to love with him. Right? So the delegation of authority, we have the ability to return as the responsible people for this planet, for this earth. We can do it either on our own and screw it up, or we can do it in relationship with him. We have that choice. So we've proven how we don't have the ability, the proper knowledge, the proper love to do it on our own apart from him. So what? With the authority that He's given us, we need to return to the relationship with Him. That's what is at the heart of the gospel, is returning to relationship with Him. He's always, always, always calling us back to relationship with Himself. It's all through the Bible. Constantly, you read the prophets. He was always calling people back to relationship with Himself. Same thing in the gospel. Same thing in the New Testament. All the way through. Hey, return to me, return to me, return to me. Right? Because what did they do in the beginning? They left Him. That story in Genesis 3, we can see 3 different things in there. Number 1, they left relationship with God. How do we know? God had to come looking for them, right? Because He didn't know where they were. I mean, He knew, obviously, but again, it's a spiritual truth, not a physical one. They had left relationship with Him. They had decided to live by their own knowledge, their own ability, the knowledge of what was right and wrong. And they disobeyed Him in that process, and the results are evident in the world today. That's why the world is the way it is. Thanks, and have a nice day.